How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Billy Goat channel. I'm Billy, and in today's video, we're going to be walking through the Inktober 2023 drawing challenge that I recently did. Inktober is basically a challenge where every day you get a prompt of something to draw, and you have to just draw that with ink. This was my first time ever doing the challenge, and I think it went surprisingly well. I had mentioned in my previous vlog video that I was really having trouble thinking of things to draw, so it was good having these prompts to just basically tell me, hey, draw this, no questions asked, you know. But anyway, we're going to be taking a look at this section of my sketchbook right here. This is my third sketchbook. After completing this challenge, I'm basically about halfway through it, so it'll be a little while until we get the full, official sketchbook tour. If you're watching this video, you may have noticed that it is, in fact, December. Yes, my Inktober kind of morphed into an Inkvember, which then transitioned into an Inkcember. As per usual, I don't know how to kind of gauge how long it's going to take for me to do anything. So here we are. But all in all, this is just a little sketchbook tour. It's not like a big deal or anything. No one's really, keeping track of my performance, whatever. Also, if you're new to this channel, this is basically the channel where I try my hand at a bunch of different creative things. That's just what I like to do. That's my bread and butter, just coming up with crazy concepts and trying to bring them to life, whether it be through art, music. I've even dabbled in video game design a little bit. Anyway, if you like art videos, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and also drop a like so I can reach my current goal of 100 subscribers. That would be fantastic. Anyway, let's get on to the tour, shall we? Alright, so here we have the first page of Inktober. I realized pretty early on that filling up these 11 by 14 inch pages with just one day per page, it was going to be too much work. So basically, as you can see on this first page, I combined 2 of the days into one, and I've got this guy basically laying here dreaming about the spiders that are coming down out of his head and everything. So this one I used brush pen. I also used micron pens. I used micron pens for most of the drawings in this sketchbook. They were pretty much my go-to tool for this whole thing here. Anyway, on to the next one. So here we have days 3 and 4. Day 3 was a path, so I just kind of did this top-down view of a path running through. And this one was a lot of fun, just doing all these tiny little details. It was kind of time consuming though. And then day 4 was dodge. So I have this scene from the first Matrix movie where, Neo shoots at the agent and the agent just dodges everything. This one was done only with brush pen, so it's not quite as detailed as some of the other ones I did, but I still like it. So then we have days 5 and 6. Day 5 was map, so I did this map of the area where I live, and basically just using Google Maps as a reference, I kind of drew all the roads, all the main highways and the lakes and everything. So that was kind of fun. I've always been a big map guy. I love maps. I love looking at maps. If I go on Google Earth and just start looking around, next thing I know, an hour's gone by and I'm looking at some rural town in Wyoming and checking out their YMCA and shit. I don't get it, but that's why I decided to literally just draw a map for map. And I like how it turned out, Day 6 was golden, and I was thinking, how am I gonna represent something golden with black and white? That's kind of challenging. And then I realized, hey, I have my golden brand products. So I just drew all the golden stuff that I had in a little row here, and this is like the most detailed picture I did up to this point. I was trying to go for, you know, at least semi-realistic with this one. All right, so days 7 and 8. This is, I think, yeah, this is the first one where I made the whole page a cohesive picture. So here we have this toad here, sitting under this leaf that's, you know, got dewdrops all over it. And that was the drip. So, you know, drip and toad. I will note that this background is actually watercolor. So I kind of cheated on this page and some of the other pages where it said, you know, it's Inktober, but when I'm working with pages this big, I didn't just want to waste ink. Like if I needed to black out a certain section, I didn't want to, you know, go through my Micron pens, you know, in one day. For the 9th and the 10th, we have bounce. So I did this little bouncy house or bouncy castle with the brush pen. And then I have fortune for the 10th, and I drew Fortuna, or Fortuna? I'm not sure how you say her name. I think it's Fortuna, but she's the Roman goddess of luck. So I drew her from a reference that I got, I think, off Wikipedia. For the 11th, the word was wander, and I was kind of not sure what to do for that word. You know, at first I was thinking, oh, I'll just have some guy like walking through the wilderness or whatever. But in the end, I just decided to have the letters of the word kind of wandering across the page. And then I did a little poem in the background running, you know, on this little squiggly line. I'll go ahead and put the text of that poem up on the screen. It's just kind of a stream of consciousness thing that I came up with. And yeah, I just like kind of some written word elements mixed in with the art. I think that makes for some nice variety. For the 12th, it was spicy. So I found a picture of a bunch of peppers. I kind of was using a lot of hatching, cross-hatching, that kind of thing with I think this was the 0.3 micron pen. So I was trying to get these fine details in there, and I'm not really great at cross-hatching. It's not a technique that I use a lot, but I think in general it looks pretty good, even though it's a little rough around the edges. So for the 13th, the word was rise, and you know, it was October. I wanted to do something with kind of spooky vibes a little bit, so I've got this guy resurrecting, you know, and he's kind of halfway decomposed. So yeah, this one, it has a little bit of everything. It's got acrylic paint up here for the background, a little watercolor wash for the foreground. It's got brush pen, and then a lot of the finer details were done with just a regular Bic ballpoint pen. So this one turned out really great, and I just decided to use the word rise for his last name, Carl Rise, with a, you know, slightly different spelling. The next 2 days, the 14th and the 15th, were castle and dagger. So naturally I kind of thought of some kind of medieval setting, and I got this idea of the dagger being in the foreground stuck into this tree stump, and then having the castle kind of on a hill back here. And I wanted to have the words actually be represented in the world. So I have dagger in the hilt of the dagger here, and then I have castle kind of made out of the stone blocks of the castle. Actually, this entire spread here is one of my favorites. I'm just going to show the whole thing. So yeah, you have castle, dagger over here, and then the 16th and 17th was angel and demon. Obviously, it had to be a full page kind of thing with angel and demon. So I've got the demon down here trying to grab the angel and pull her down to hell or whatever. This one took me so long, like days and days, just to get the sketch down. You know, I'm not super good with anatomy, so it took a lot of trial and error just to get the proportions right, get all the details laid out like I wanted them to be. I'm pretty happy with this one. Actually, this is like my favorite out of all of the pages, I think. Especially like the dress, this real sheer kind of dress that the angel has on. I think I got the lighting on that pretty well. But yeah, here's that one. The next 4 days here, I'm kind of mixed on how I feel about this one, because it feels very clean and like symmetrical, but at the same time I feel like I played it kind of safe for a lot of these. But I like the overall spread that I have here. So up here on the 18th, we've got Saddle. This is pretty much like exclusively a micron pen drawing. And down here we got Plump, and I just did a potbelly pig with ballpoint pen for a lot of the shading. It gives it kind of a rough quality, kind of a scribbly look to it that I like. Then on the 20th, the word was Frost, so I did, some icicles, a snowflake, and then kind of having the sleet or whatever just kind of going across the page like that. So then on the 21st, we have Chains, and I just went ahead and did the word chains with a big long chain, or actually it's 2 chains, then did a little padlock for the dot on the eye. Yeah, I like this one. The background was the most tedious part of this, trying to get, in between all these little nooks and crannies. Then for the 22nd and the 23rd, we've got Scratchy and Celestial. For Scratchy, I really had no idea what to do, but then I remembered, Scratchy from The Simpsons, and I'm not even like a huge Simpsons fan. I just recall there being a character named Scratchy, Itchy and Scratchy show and all that. So I looked up, I Googled Scratchy in space, and there were like a bunch of pictures. I guess in one of the episodes they already did, a scene with Scratchy in like an astronaut suit. So it didn't even take much work to find the reference for this. And I just have Scratchy floating around in space. This is, again, micron pen and then acrylic paint for the background. Okay, for the 24th and the 25th, the words were Shallow and Dangerous. Now, a lot of these were done out of order because as time went on, I started to get behind. I was trying to do one every day, and that just turned out to be unrealistic because I'd get home from work and just really have no energy or desire to sit down and try to do some art. So I would just skip around a lot. This one was done later in the process, and I was kind of getting a little burnt out of the whole ink and everything. So even though I didn't really nail the anatomy of this guy, I still like the general composition. I like the creatures that I did. It's not the best out of the Inktober pieces, but I think it stands up pretty well. Alright, so now we have the 26th and the 27th, which was Remove and Beast. For Remove, I just decided to basically cut out the word remove, as you can see. I used my X-Acto knife set, which I've just had laying around, not really knowing when to use it. It's not like I do a lot of cutting things, but when I got to remove, it just made perfect sense, just remove the paper. But yeah, just a lot of line work with the micron pens, and then of course you can see to the page behind it. And then on the 27th, I did this little beast guy here, just some kind of alien creature. Not much to him. Alright, so over here on the 28th, the word was Sparkle. So I just did a diamond here and tried to do the best I could on all the little details. It's really crazy, all the intricate shades of black and gray and white. If I was actually trying to do this photorealistically, it'd probably take me hours, but I just used a ballpoint pen, tried to get like the basic shapes and values of all the little facets of this diamond. Then we've got the 29th, which was massive. This kind of continues with those curving lines and the intricate lines that were on the remove page. When you look through that page, you can see this sticking out, so it's kind of in the same style. And it's just a weird alien rock thing, or it could be alive, you know, who knows what this thing is. But there's just a little kind of group of houses down here nestled beneath this giant monument or whatever it is. So I like this one. I like kind of it's almost got like Dr. Seuss vibes or something. So here's the final 2 days. We've got the 30th, which was Rush, and then we've got the 31st, which was Fire. Of course, these were the last 2 days that I had to do. I started this one first, and I had an idea for Rush, which is that I would draw the members of the band Rush and have their logo like right here. And as I was doing this one, I was like so tired of doing ink drawings, and the idea that I had to finish this and then go on to draw 3 people when I already know that it takes me a really long time to draw people, I was like, no. So I did a little joke and I basically rushed through this one. Get it? Yeah, rushed right through it. Just a big old rush job. And then finally, I've got this picture of the famous Hindenburg explosion. This is just done with Micron pen. I actually bought this set that had grayscale Micron pens in it, so I used those throughout the sketchbook to kind of get these gradients of kind of medium gray and light gray and stuff. So yeah, that's the last page. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got some other projects coming up. I've got another large painting that I'm going to start soon, trying out some new techniques. I'm also going to be having a shop update in the coming months. I want to say probably it's going to be in January. Don't quote me on that. But I'm going to have some new original paintings. I'm going to have 10 additional prints for sale. And I'm probably going to document that whole process in my next vlog. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next video.